And welcome, everyone. I'm Bill Newell here on MSONewsports.com, along with the Salem News sports writers, Phil Stacy, Nick Giannino, and Matt Williams. Nick, we're going to start with you and a little bit of wrestling. There was some wrestling on Tuesday, but we have a lot of action scheduled for Wednesday that we want to get to. So, Nick, why don't we start with wrestling? A win for the Prep today, right?
Tuesday. Yes, sir. So two teams in Division I North Sectional this year was St. John's Prep and Methuen. And the Eagles hosted Methuen on Tuesday night and came out with a pretty convincing win. I think it was 61-18. They had some really impressive performances across the board. A lot of first round pins, which was good to see. I know the coach was happy about that. He wanted them to get out and kind of, put their stamp on things early. And that's what they did. Starting at 106, Alex Schoblin had a pin in the first round. We also had a pin in the first round from Tyler Knox, who's been a beast this year. He's only a freshman. They have a lot of young talent on this St. John's Prep team. It seems like they just keep reloading. The top-notch wrestlers tend to find their way over to Eagle Nation there, and they keep on winning. I mean, they're still undefeated. We had some other good matches as well. At 126, Nick Curley came out with the win in the second round by fall. We had, there was a good match at 138 as well. Adam Schoblin took that one with a first round pin. 170, Cam Cummings came out with a pin in the first round. 220 was a good match. We had a Methuen kid come out in that one, but that was back and forth and ended up being a pin as well. And then Charles Smith at 285 heavyweight got a pin in under a minute. So good overall match for St. John's Prep. I know a lot of these kids, wrestle year round. They're wrestling in nationals and stuff. A lot of higher ranked kids. I think Tyler Knox is actually ranked 17th in his weight class in the country right now, which is very impressive for a freshman. He came out and did his thing. So these are kids that expected to win today and came to perform, came to play, and they're moving on. I'm not sure. I believe they reseed after the sectionals, so they don't know. Yeah. So they don't know who they're going to face in the next round yet. Whether it be the winner of the South or the is it the West, South, or the Central? I believe yes, the West. They wouldn't see. So.
I think it is scheduled to be at St. John's Prep, though, Nick, on Monday.
On Monday, correct, at St. John's Prep. So they're just waiting for the results from those other meets. But
yeah, so
they're very
New Bedford or Taunton or Needham.
Yep.
Was Jameson telling me St. John's of Shrewsbury or Minnechaug? I think they were the West champs. They won their match. So yeah, It could be any one of those teams.
So not to take anything away from Methuen, seemed like they had a great year. Only one loss in the dual meet schedule. Obviously, St. John's Prep came in undefeated, but like I said, a lot of these prep kids are just, a little bit above the competition. I don't know how else to face it. I know the kid Knox was saying he wrestles up weight classes in practice and gets to go against some other really good kids for the Eagles, all Americans. So they're ready. I would peg them as the favorite moving forward, but I guess you never know. So today was a good tune-up, and they left it all out there. Like I said, a lot of first-round pins, which was pretty impressive. The whole meet was over within an hour, and a decent crowd over there at St. John's Prep too. I know they were very happy to be back doing this thing, in front of some crowds and do it in the state tournament. So good win for the Eagles.
So get back to us on Minnechaug or whatever.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll check the bracket right now. We can move on, and if I see that anyone has won, we can update that.
I know we went to baseball first last week, and I was going to go to baseball now, but I'm going to call a quick audible. And Phil, we're going to jump over. Let's go to lacrosse here, okay? Because want to do that.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So I know today in Division III Tuesday we have one result: Triton over Austin Prep 9-6. However, we go back up to Division I. There's the Prep again, ready to go on Wednesday. Division II, Wakefield Melrose left from the North Shore, and in Division III, Fenwick will be against Newburyport on Wednesday. So Phil, I'll let you pick it up and maybe feel free to jump back. Also noting that the number 1 seed in D2 Marblehead got knocked out of the tournament by Bill Ricca 8-4.
Yeah, that's right. All right, well, I guess we'll start with the latest news. That's a great win by Triton today.
Yeah.
Really, really good win. I thought that was Austin Prep's tournament to win. To not only beat the Cougars, but also at Austin Prep. That's an impressive win. I saw Triton once this year when they beat Ipswich. They're a very skilled team, patient offensively, couple of big stud scorers. And God, I remember their numbers, but not the names, 3 and 5. Could look it up for you. But they were very good defensively. I thought the coach, Tim Rice, did a nice job there. Just spread it around, wait for the right shot. So they're going to be a formidable team. Then you got Bishop Fenwick going against Newburyport, which is an interesting matchup. Fenwick with a wild win on Monday night, 20-19. That's the highest scoring game I can remember one of our teams having in a while. They had a bunch of chances to knock out Essex Tech. Essex Tech just kept, leaning against the ropes and legs buckled, but they never went down. They really, really played well. Calvin Helene had 8 goals for Essex Tech. Matt Powers a goal and 7 assists. Sean Parsons is doing a great job there. But Fenwick, 12-6, having started the season 0-3 and 1-4. They've really turned it around. Liam Hill had 7 goals against Essex Tech. He's now over 60 for the season. Getting Stefano Fabiano back has been huge for Fenwick. He's been on a tear in the 9 games since he's been back. I think he's got 49 points in 9 games. Had 9 points the other night. Aiden Anthony is playing well. Anthony Sasso is playing well. Brady McClung, Max Grennett. You can just go right down the list there. Defensively, the long stick midi Jay Connolly, Kevin Wood, George Castillas and net. Going up against a Newburyport team that's only lost once all year. Their one loss was to Ipswich. I would think they would be favored. Coached by former Hamilton Wenham coach Josh. I think of his last name here. Put me on the spot, Bill.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I know.
Yeah.
Begins with a W.
Yes. Why? Oh my God, Josh! I'm so sorry. I can't come up with their last name here. I will think of it.
I can't think of it either.
They'll be playing Wednesday as we hear this up in Newburyport, and I expect that to be a great game. But Triton is going to be a very difficult team for whoever comes out of that. Although Newburyport did beat Triton during the regular season. I will be at St. John's Prep on Wednesday. I fully expect them to roll over North Andover. Not that I don't think that's an indictment on North Andover and what they are as a program or the league that they play in. I just think that St. John's Prep is that much better than just about everybody they play. They're coming off of an 18-6 win over Peabody, which I think anyone on either side would tell you was really not that close. St. John's just has so many weapons. They're so deep. They're so athletic. They're so talented. There are a few faults in this team. I think they really won't be tested until the North Final when they get to play either Lincoln Sudbury or unbeaten Chelmsford. I'm guessing Lincoln Sudbury might win that game, that other semifinal. But we shall see. If it is LS, that would be Friday at the Prep, which would be must-watch lacrosse, MLW. Josh Wedge. There you go.
Josh Wedge. I had that. I had that too. I had that. I got it. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I didn't even have to look it up.
Yeah. Good for you. Yeah.
Sorry, Josh. My bad.
It was a W.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did have that right. St. John's, should they win? Well, when they beat North Andover, let's not kid ourselves here. When they beat North Andover, they'll either host Lincoln Sudbury on Friday, or they will play at Chelmsford. Chelmsford is the top seed in that draw. And just circling back to Marblehead and Danvers. Danvers was also Division II North. They got bounced on Monday by a good Wakefield team. Danvers was the 4 seed. Wakefield was the 5. I think Danvers had a really good year. I think they'll be even better next year. I think this was almost a bonus season for them, to be honest with you, to play as well as they did. Marblehead, it was disappointing. They were 13-0. I think in most cases, honestly, they probably go a little bit further than they did this year if we didn't have the pandemic season. And I say that because there was no power seeding. this year for the lacrosse tournament. So you were what your record said you were. And Marblehead was 13-0, having played all Northeastern Conference team, of which they were clearly a couple of notches above everyone else in the conference this year. But Billerica, which was, I think they came in at 9-3, and then they beat Masco in the first round before they played Marblehead. They were battle tested, played in a much better league, the MVC, lost to unbeaten Chelmsford twice to start the season, and then they've only lost one game the rest of the way. In fact, Billerica was up 6-1 on St. John's Prep in the third quarter this year. And ultimately, the Prep scored the last 7 goals and won that game 8-6. But if Billerica is hanging with St. John's Prep, and the only other teams that have hung with St. John's Prep all year are Hingham and BC High, that shows you just how good Billerica is. Now, Billerica went up 3-0 on Marblehead, and it was 5-0 in the second quarter before Will Schultz scored for Marblehead. So 6-1 at halftime. Marblehead made some tweaks defensively. They got some great play from JT Monahan. He made 19 saves. He was immense in net. Marblehead started to chip away. Shelley scores a couple more goals at 6-4. And I asked Ryan Nickerson, the Billerica coach, after the game, I said, geez, were you starting to think, oh my God, here we go, another North Shore team up 6-1. Are we going to lose this? And he says in so many words, well, no, hey, Marblehead is not St. John's Prep. That's to take nothing away from Marblehead, but St. John's is at another level. He knew that if they could just get one more goal, they would be all right. They got it with 4:40 to go, and they added an insurance goal. Marblehead got one more, but that was it. So 8-5, disappointing season ending for Marblehead, but certainly shouldn't take away from the great year they had, 13-1. I think fans of the Magicians will be very happy when the NEC All-Star team comes out. I would assume it later this week. And, they're going to miss the seniors they had. A lot of great players in that team, from Shull and Monahan and Bosworth and, just a Paquette, a lot of great players, Miles Smith. So it was a great season for Marblehead, and I don't think one loss should define them.
We still have a lot of baseball to go, but I do want to touch on girls lacrosse if we can. We have in the D1 still alive, Masco playing Central Catholic Wednesday, Reading taking on Danvers Wednesday. In D2, a lot of North Shore teams, Swampscott at Austin Prep, Manchester Essex at Essex Tech, Pentucket at Newburyport, and Tingsboro at Ipswich. So those are the some of the local girls teams in girls lacrosse. Any observations from you guys on girls lacrosse?
Yeah, I was at the Masconomic game yesterday, Monday, against Billerica. Obviously, the Chieftains came in undefeated, were kind of rolling through their competition in the NEC this year. They had that one close battle with Peabody that they won by 1 goal, but outside of that, they were dominant, and they ran into a very talented Billerica team in round 1. They found themselves down 4-0 right out of the gate. It kind of looked like they were a little shell-shocked, maybe just sleepwalking a little early there, losing the draws, and Billerica was capitalizing, but they battled back. And like Phil said with his game at Essex Tech and Fenwick, same type deal. I mean, it was goals left and right. The final score ended up being Masco 18, Billerica 17. They held on down the stretch. I think they had a 3-goal lead with about 2 minutes left, and Billerica was able to pump home 2 more goals, but Masco, ran out the clock down the stretch. So great first test for the Chieftains, who are obviously, North Division I North sectional champion hopefuls. They're going to have to face a tough Central Catholic team in the second round, but they will get to host that round as well because they got the top seed in that bracket. So that should be a good one on Wednesday. And then also in Division I North, Bill, you mentioned we got Danvers still alive. They have a couple impressive wins so far. They beat Tewksbury 15-10, and then they beat Malden 18-4. I imagine that Reading, who was the number 3 seed in the bracket with only 1 loss this season, will give them more of a challenge, and that one will be on the road. But good season for Danvers nonetheless. Even if they go out in this quarterfinal matchup, I think they, exceeded expectations. They've had a pretty solid year. But they have in the regular season they had 4 losses, so. The NEC was really competitive this year. They had a lot of close losses, but that's going to be a good game against Reading. Ashley Kukuru, she's one to watch. She's been having a great postseason so far for them. Then we move on to Division II North real quick. You mentioned that Newburyport Pentucket match. That would be a nice rivalry game there in the quarterfinals in the upper portion of that bracket. And then You got Ipswich down below that, going against Tingsboro. Ipswich cruised over Triton in the first round, and they've had another great season, even under a new head coach there in Allison Tibnan. I believe it's Allison Tibnan, right, for the Ipswich program? Yeah.
Yes.
So, don't know really what to expect with that Tingsboro team. They beat Hamilton Wenham 19-12 in the first round, and Ipswich handled Hamilton Wenham pretty easily in the regular season as well. So, 7-goal there. I think Ipswich might have won by 10, but in any case, that should be a battle. Ipswich will have home field advantage in that one. And then the big one on the other top of the bracket, we got Essex Aggie. They put on the MIA. I love that. So we got Essex Tech, and they'll be going against Manchester Essex, who's had a great season. They just beat a pretty solid Fenwick team very handily, 19-5 in the first round. Essex Tech coming off an 18-4 win over Malden Catholic. So I'll be at that one on Wednesday night over at I don't know if that has a name in that field over there, but under the lights, at the Hawk Dome, under the lights there.
Yeah.
And then one more local team still alive, Swampscott. They strung together a really nice season. They had that tough season-ending loss, regular season finale loss, I should say, to Marblehead, but put together a really strong season. They're, they got 2 girls there, or 3 or 4 girls actually, that can really get it done offensively. They put up 15 in their first round against Lowell Catholic, but they'll have their hands full with Austin Prep, who's the number 3 seed. 1-loss season for Austin Prep, and that one's also on Wednesday at Austin Prep at 4:00. So we could have 3 teams in our coverage area advance to the semifinals in D2 North. We could have 0. I mean, all these matchups are tough to predict. I think they're going to be good games all around.
Yeah, definitely a lot of action on Wednesday for sure. Matt Williams, baseball, let's get to it. Division I, Prep Westford Wednesday, Lynn English Andover, Division I Wednesday in the North. But we don't have to start there. We can go wherever you want, Matt, to take a look at baseball.
Well, I think the Division I specifically, St. John's score but the other day was a little bit closer maybe than people expected, but I still don't see any reason to fret. The Eagles are the odds-on favorite here. Moving on, Northeastern Conference doing pretty well.
Yeah.
The league's 12-4 so far in the tournament, and 9 of the 10 teams won at least one tournament game. So that's pretty good. We almost had the full left side in Division II North as all NEC teams, and it took a walk-off in the bottom 7th from top seed Shawsheen over Salem to prevent that. But, if Masco beats Shawsheen, they would play the winner of Danvers and Marblehead, and then you'd be guaranteed an NEC team in the Division II North final for, I believe it'd be the 10th time in the last 11 years. So, as much as the Cape Ann League tends to dominate Division 3 and 4 sometimes, the NEC's been pretty good in Division 2, and this year looks no different. As we sit here Tuesday night recording, really looking forward to seeing Marblehead and Danvers tomorrow afternoon. Great ball game. Should be a great take. Fill up the Roundy Grandstand. If you have nothing to do, come watch the game. Danvers will have their left-hander Joe Zamitis ready to go. It'll be his second start against them this year. He shut them out 1-0 in the month of May. And quirk of the schedule, Marblehead and Danvers played each other 2 times in the same week. And, Zamitis threw a shutout at home on, I believe it was a Monday. And then they played each other again on Thursday at Seaside, and Marblehead won 12-8 in what was kind of a bullpen game for both teams. So 2 very different games. And I'm really looking forward to the 3rd round matchup. I think 2 very, very good teams, both capable of winning the section should things line up for them correctly. And a trivia question, perhaps Bill or Phil would have an answer, or perhaps our audience could send us one on Twitter or on on email. How many teams or what was the last team to have both of its first 2 state tournament games won by left-handed pitchers? That was the case for Danvers with Zamitis and then Ty Robinson throwing the shutout in the 2nd round. So 2 games, 2 lefties, and 2 wins for the Falcons. That's pretty rare.
Wow, I would have to think about that.
I'm going to go Peabody 1997.
Who?
I don't think so, Sam.
I'll tell you who it
Coach,
wasn't.
Coach Josh Wedge. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you who it wasn't was Phil Stacey on the 1987 Beverly Panthers. That is incorrect.
Come on, Coach Linehan loved it. And quickly in Division 3 too, we discussed last
Yeah.
week that the winner of that Fenwick Linfield game was looking to be pretty good, and that certainly has borne out to be the case. Congratulations to Coach Russ Steves. He got his 100th win as head coach of the Crusaders in the tournament on Monday. So that's a cool milestone for Coach Steves. And if they get by Watertown, they'd face the Gloucester Saugus winner. And, even Saugus, Coach Joe Lewis doing a heck of a job there, coming from a low seed and winning 2 playoff games already. And now he gets to face Gloucester. So, the NEC really representing in this tournament so far. Only division we didn't touch on was 4, which is Hamilton Wenham, which still hasn't played a game. So, the poor Generals are just bored. Some of our teams have played 2 games. Masco played extra innings, 9 innings, and Hamilton Wenham hasn't played 1 yet. So they're, that SpongeBob gif where like he's looking out at the guys with that sad face. That's Hamilton Wenham right now.
Speaking of, and you got in 4, as you mentioned, in the North, Winthrop's at Snowdon, Manchester, Essex on the road as well. Rockport's still alive. They're on the road. And you mentioned Hamilton Wenham taking on Lowell Catholic. Just a quick jump back to 3 for a minute. Newburyport, North Reading still alive there. And then in 2, St. Mary's hosting Concord Carlisle. So a lot of Wednesday games today when people hear this, but we're recording this on Tuesday night.
Exactly. It's
yeah.
very busy. They've tried not to move any games for any reasons because of the pitch counts that are going on. They want everyone to be on the same playing field, as far as fair with the pitch counts this year. So we're going to go Wednesday, then Friday, and then the championship games will be the following Monday. And to my knowledge, all these games are going to be at local sites at the higher seeds. So there's not going to be, there's not going to be any alumni field in Lowell, any Fraser Field, unless Lynn English or St. Mary's would host. No neutral sites, which is certainly interesting. Speaking of the Roundy Grandstand, I'll have to ask Tommy, but if Marblehead keeps advancing, this could be the very first time in 150 years that Seaside Park has hosted 3 tournament games in the same playoff, right? Because usually you're off to the neutral sites by then.
True.
Yeah. So Matt, if people want to answer that trivia question, should they go to your Twitter account at Matt Williams?
Please, yeah, either that or send your answers to Bob Boyce, who posed the question to me, and I said, Bobby, I have no idea.
Well, if Bob Boyce,
a free bottle of Salem News hand sanitizer to the person who gets it correct.
I like that. Fun size bottle of hand.
So if Bob Boyce did it, should we be thinking Danvers or not?
Well, he's the one who asked me the question, and I said, I don't have the answer, Bobby.
Oh, okay.
I'll throw it out there and see if anybody knows,
Oh, okay. But do you know the answer?
No, I do not. I cannot recall 2 left-handed pitchers for the same team. That's been quite a long time. Nick made a joke about Peabody, and if Mr. Linehan is listening, John Tudor was a lefty, right? So maybe they had a second left-handed pitcher there in 1978 or 79. I think Phil Mitchell was a righty, so it might not have been him, but that might have been the team we're looking for. Nick was trying to make a jest, but he may have stumbled onto the answer.
Yeah.
I know, Beverly, I'm going way back now, like early 70s. Phil Welch was a dominant lefty, and they had some playoff success with him. I don't know if there was an accompanying southpaw with him or not.
It's rare to have 2 of them. That's, that's not something you see every day.
Right. Scott Hyland with Beverly. I don't know if they had a second lefty there. That was in the early 90s, I want to say. Yeah, that really is. That's not something you see a lot of.
I know our time. Yeah, no, you look at over the years, a lot of great baseball programs, say in the Northeastern Conference, and what at different times, whether it be Lynn English or Swampscott, and you've mentioned the Beverly and Danvers teams or whatever. So I guess it could be any of those guys. Hey, let's just touch on softball here in some of our remaining time here. Peabody's still alive. They've got a home game Wednesday against Methuen. That's in one. I'm just kind of glancing through here. We've got a lot of North Shore teams
Danvers, I think,
eliminated.
is up at Bedford.
Yeah, we
on
got
Wednesday.
Danvers at Bedford, Gloucester playing at North Reading. So Gloucester's still alive in softball. Winthrop battling St. Mary's in D3. Amesbury's still going. We talked about those guys last week. The Amesbury team. Northeast, we talked about them in one of the other sports, I think, but they're hosting Lowell Catholic. But those are some of the teams still alive in softball. Any thoughts on any of those games at all? Peabody with a home.
Well, you mentioned that thing you told me about Peabody and the seedings.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I would imagine that if the finals in 3 is St. Mary's and Amesbury, that would be a great game. But one thing we did notice is, unlike the baseball, softball does not have pitch counts, right? So they've changed the games around, and teams are going to play Wednesday, then Thursday, then Saturday. So they're going to go back to back Wednesday and Thursday, and you wonder if that's going to challenge some of these teams from a pitching standpoint. Some of these kids pitch every single game, but you notice during the regular season, sometimes if they pitch back-to-back days, there's a little bit of fatigue there. And I do think that might favor Peabody, because as good as Abby Betancourt is, her freshman teammate there, Avery Greco, is very good too. So there's not many teams that can trot out a 1-2 like those two. And the other thing with Peabody is that the road to the North title now runs through the Kiley Brothers School down there, Lieutenant Ross Park, whatever we're calling it these days, because all the other top seeds have lost. Peabody's the only high seed left. Woburn #1 is gone. Westford #3 is gone. Revere #4 gone. Lowell #5 gone. Shut out 10-0 by North Andover. So there's a lot of low seeds left here, and then the Tanners up there lonely at #2. So that's going to be interesting to see how that bracket plays out. And if the Beverly game against Methuen is any indication, the Tanners should be a heavy favorite. I mean, Beverly had a great tournament run with a very young team.
I was going to
Very
mention
nearly
that, yeah.
won that game, but they
26
did lose
seed,
to
too.
Peabody twice.
26 seed. I mean, they got the first round upset over Medford, one run game, and then nearly pulled it off in extras against Methuen. That would have been something if they had 2 upsets as the 26 seed. And that's a young team, like you mentioned, so they'll be back.
Big
Yeah,
props
absolutely.
to Coach Megan Sudak. She does a great job there. And Willie, I
Absolutely.
can't believe you didn't take up the opportunity when you said challenge to follow that up with challenge.
That's right. The gauntlet has been thrown down.
Yes.
The challenge. So,
Challenge.
and the funny thing about Peabody too, I mean, as far as the back-to-back goes is, I mean, we've talked about them all year, the home runs that they hit, the offense that they have, 1 through 9. I mean, you get a kid like Penny Spack hitting 7 or 8, driving in a bunch of runs. I mean, so they're capable of winning a game 12-6 or 11-8 or something like that if they have to. So, they can certainly win in a variety of ways. And
They don't make many mistakes in the field, which
no,
is
you
key
you
at
got
this
to
tournament.
imagine that they're going to be one of the last teams left standing of ours in any sport, just based on the way the rest of the bracket has played out. And I mean,
We head into Wednesday with 21 teams that we cover still alive.
pretty
There's a
good.
lot. It's a big day. There's a lot of stuff going on Wednesday for sure. When
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't have 21 left, I'll tell you that.
No,
Wednesday.
we'll be lucky to have. I mean, if past experience is any indication, we'll be lucky to have 12. But some
Yeah.
years we have even more than that. So I anticipate some wins and obviously some losses. Hey, Danvers and Marblehead are playing each other, so that's at least one that has to go down.
But we'll have 20 by Wednesday. That's all right.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Thursday.
Right. Exactly.
Well, this is where you guys make the big money this time of the year. There's no doubt about it. The playoff season. Yeah, and also look at you got Danvers and Gloucester in D2 in softball. I mean, I think they match up together. I don't have my brackets right now, but I think the way I wrote it out here, they would, if they both won, they could be matching up. That's
In
why
North semis.
yeah, that's why I like the North tournament and the South tournament and so on, because I love seeing these matchups. I mean, I just think it's great. If you happen to match up against the Middlesex League team, that's great. But yet on the other hand, think about the baseball matchup, Danvers and Marblehead, meeting up again for the third time in the season, two league rivals. I mean, I think
Right.
that's great too in its own way, in a different kind of way, you know?
And that's
And I
what they
know,
hope
you
for
know,
going in.
Yeah.
Most people are out of sight, out of mind, but this time next year, and we'll see it start in the fall, but
Yeah,
you could go from playing Melrose in the first round to Waben in the second round, or Frontier Regional, or whatever. I mean, when the statewide tournament comes, it's going to be a whole new ball game here. So
yeah, yeah.
I hope people do realize that it is nice, I think, to have these close games. Sort of if you got to travel a half hour. So, I mean, I live out on an island, so I do it anyway. But it's going to be a lot different when you have to go out to Central Mass and play Monson or Charlton or whatever, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Charlton, Nick.
Charlton.
Charlton.
I was up in that neck of the woods this past weekend, but
I'll make that trip anytime.
the line was too long. We couldn't swing it. Me and my girlfriend went through, but no dice.
Okay. All right.
We didn't have enough time.
Charlton? What are you at? The rest
Yeah,
area?
Treehouse Brewery. No, we had a wedding up there, but Treehouse Brewery was right down the street. Nice little treat, but didn't work out.
No, man. Oh, well.
Next time.
Next time you'll be out there for a tournament game, and you know what I
That's
mean?
it.
That'll maybe it'll work out then. Well, gentlemen, anything else to share with us here in our final minute or two here?
Just real quick, again, it's football tonight. I'm sure that they would, the good folks, Paul Halloran and the Aganis folks, would not have intentionally chosen to have the Aganis games run right in the middle of state tournament. Just a confluence of events that nobody could avoid, with the spring season starting late, the tournament's late, a limited amount of dates that they could have the Aganis games at Manning Field in Lynn. So it is tonight. If football is your bag, baby, and you want to get over there and watch some good ball, they will be kicking off at, was it 6:30, Willie?
6:30. Yeah.
Field.
Yeah.
And I know there were some athletes. I talked to the parent of one the other day that has a tournament game Wednesday, but really wants to play in the football game. And as of Monday night, was very torn as to what they wanted to do. Do you play in this prestigious all-star football game for arguably the North Shore's greatest ever athlete, or do you play with your team that you've been with all season in a state tournament? It's tough, but hey, we hope they get a nice crowd for the Aganis game, and I'm sure it'll be a great game.
Should be a great night.
Couple quick notes, Willie. I don't know if you touched on McLean getting to the Olympics there.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. So sitting at my second baseball game at Fraser Field Monday night, and I got my phone up and I'm watching on the app, and Heather McLean from Peabody runs and beats like 5 kids on the last lap to make the Olympics. I mean, it's like, holy smokes, this is crazy. I mean, I believe she's the first Olympian from that program, that's had, national champions in college All-Americans, professional runners. I mean, 2 Welch twins, all the Brazos, all the Roaches, and Heather's the first first Olympian. I mean, that is a story and a half, and just one of the most genuine, kind, down-to-earth kids you'll ever meet. And, just everybody's thrilled for her. I'm sure that we'll talk about her a lot more on the show, when the Olympics get close here in July. But, for her to make it and the way that she did, I mean, it was really, really cool to watch. And I know a lot of people in the city were sitting in front of the TV watching it, and we're really excited for her.
Yeah.
And another local athlete here. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Pat Connaughton. He will be playing in the conference finals for the Milwaukee Bucks. They beat the Nets a couple days ago in Game 7, and Pat's been a big part of that team. I mean, he's a big part of the rotation, coming off the bench as the 6th man, basically. And I think it was, in Game 7, he was the only bench player from either team to score. He had like 9 points, hit a couple threes. So good for Pat.
On Mike
for the Bucks. Mike's locked into that. But good season for Pat. Good season for the Bucks, and that's he's off to the big stage here. So good luck to them in the conference finals, which begin tomorrow, I believe, Wednesday.
Yeah, good. All right, gentlemen, we've hit the time, so we'll wrap it up, and we'll talk again soon. Great job. Yep, take care.
Thanks, Billy.
Yep.
Thank you.